June 21st, 2021. It's 7:01 p.m. It is our last Zoom meeting. So if you are a member of the audience, please mute yourself and cut your video until it is audience time for the call to the audience, and then we will get to you at the end of the agenda. City Clerk Ed Norris, would you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor McClellan.
Marion McClellan, City of Oak Park, Michigan, Oakland County.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns. I don't think so. Councilmember Radner.
Present in Oak Park.
Okay. Councilmember Edgar. And Councilmember Whitehead.
President Sean Whitehead, City of Oak Park, Oakland County.
Okay. 3 members out of 5 is a quorum, so we will continue our business. We'll keep you pretty busy with making motions then. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. The consent agenda, these are fairly routine items and they're approved as a group without discussion. Any council member can ask to have one of them dropped from the blanket motion and considered separately with discussion. So for A, regular council meeting minutes of June 7th, 2021, special council meeting minutes the same date, regular council meeting minutes of May 19th, request to advertise for bids for the proposed fencing for the 2021 dog park project, M731. And a happy face by that one. E, request to advertise for bids for the 2021 sewer and catch basin cleaning and television inspection project, M728. F, request to advertise for bids for the 2021 fire hydrant blasting and repainting project, M726. G, request to improve payment of invoices from the OHM advisors for safe routes to school engineering, Oak Park, AWIA Risk and Resilience, ERP, and Water Reliability Study Update for the total amount of $20,851.25. H, payment application number 2 for the 2020 sewer and catch basin cleaning and TV inspection project, M716, to Deutsche Environmental Services of Warren, Michigan, for the amount of $88,914.15. I, Parks and Recreation Commission meeting minutes of March 17th, 2021, April 21st, 2021, and May 19th. Licenses, new and renewals submitted for June 21st, 2021. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Madam Mayor, may item F be removed for discussion?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So this is without F, which will be considered separately. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. Councilmember Whitehead, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Councilmember Radner. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. And let's take a look at 4F, request to advertise for bids for the 2021 fire hydrant blasting and repainting project, M726. City Manager Tungate, who would you like to have speak to this?
Madam Mayor, we have the Assistant City Manager, Kevin Yee, is not here this evening. So in his stead, we have our Deputy Director of Public Works, David DeCoster, who will take this one.
Good evening, everyone. I will give a brief overview of the project, and if you have any specific questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But this project, basically, it's a comprehensive program where we go through and actually sandblast our fire hydrants as stuck out of the ground. We'll go through, do a primer coat, do an intermediate coat, and then also do a final coat of an epoxy paint. And basically, it's a preventative maintenance project to keep our infrastructure looking and acting in tip-top condition.
So,
So I guess we need a motion first to advertise for bids for this fire hydrant blasting and repainting project. Then we can get a second, and then we can have discussion. So we need a motion first on this.
so moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Whitehead. Second. Hello.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to keep you busy moving and seconding today. And now, Councilmember Whitehead, what was your question or concern?
Yes, just a question, pretty much from the Traffic and Safety Board. Would we be painting these fire hydrants? Are they all the fire hydrants in Oak Park? And when's the last time they have had this happen, the painting, if that's the case?
So good question. We actually started this program, I'm going to guess about 15 years ago. We went through the entire city, major streets, local streets, everything. This actually is a smaller project, and we're going to try and hit the ones that have deteriorated over time. We missed a couple here and there. A couple of our hydrants are still red. So we're going to go through and hit our major streets and kind of hit those hydrants that were missed in past years. So this has nothing to do with the curbs. This is strictly sandblasting and replaning the actual hydrant.
And when was the last time we actually did this?
I'm going to guess, I apologize, I don't have that in front of me. I'm going to guess the last time we did a project like this was probably about 5 years ago.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? So they will all be painted yellow, correct?
Anyone that is still outstanding that is red, absolutely yes. Our current color is yellow. 99% of them are yellow now. This project, all the ones we paint, yes, they will be all yellow.
All right. If any further questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to recognition of visiting elected officials. Is our Oakland County Commissioner Yolanda Smith-Charles available to speak? Welcome. Unmute yourself and give us an update.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, elected city council members, clerk, all of the support that you have on here on this call today. I do want to be mindful of your time and also provide some good insight from the county. So I should back up and just make sure people know that I am Yolanda Charles, your Oakland County Commissioner, and I represent the portion of Oakland County that is west of Coolidge up to 11 Mile and then over to Greenfield naturally. Having said that, we have been busy in Oakland County for the purposes of in-person meeting. You might have heard we are back meeting in person with our full board meetings and our committee meetings and following as many of the regulations as possible. But we also encourage members of the public to participate as well. So you can still, much like you guys, view on YouTube. And we still have some supports to allow for just a good lens of transparency. Anyone who's wishing to attend a meeting on site may come to the board auditorium. And as everyone knows, that is located at the 1200 North Telegraph Road in Pontiac. A quick note really about COVID-19 vaccines. You know, you can still sign.
Can I like to ask just, in Oakland County, can the public, they can come in person if they want to. Can they also participate on Zoom?
I believe I remember the chair stating at our last open meeting last Thursday that they would have to come, they would have to be there physically.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
That's a great question though. Okay, and I have all of this in writing and would be happy to share with all of you. I see City Attorney Duff, she gave a great legal smile there. I just want to give her a shout out quickly. With regards to the COVID-19 vaccine, as I was saying, the best resource is still going to be the Oakland County vaccine.com website is still the most accurate. If you are looking, we really want to encourage people to still get their vaccine. There's a lot of rationale behind why you should. Obviously, it's your call, do what you want to do, but I do suggest that you do get the COVID-19 vaccine, the one that suits you best. We do still have the Save Your Spot community clinics. And then also the website does maintain a list of additional providers that are currently allowing people to sign up to get appointments using an online medical tool. So there's lots of information there. Again, oaklandcountyvaccine.com is the place for that. A quick little highlight, although a very important matter, is human trafficking. As you know, Oakland County is really leading in this space, just making sure that we know that human trafficking is really a major, major thing going on. I'm sure any of the law enforcement officials on the call would also agree. So along with the Michigan Abolitionist Project, the Oakland County team hosted a special event to help connect local agencies and statewide groups in regards to human trafficking. Just really wanting to be a support there. There is a link, it's kind of lengthy, so I won't worry about reading it off, but just know that the goal of this Human Trafficking Task Force is to serve as the leading resource for Oakland County in the prevention of human trafficking and in the protection and rehab of victims. So it's a very comprehensive approach. The last two pieces, Oakland County, Michigan Works has launched Oakland Next, which is a summer young professionals program to build the future. This is geared for young people between the ages of 16 and 24 years old who are looking for career-oriented employment opportunities. They can actually go right to Oakland Next and apply there. The website for Oakland Next is oakgov.com/young professionals. And you can get more information there.
Repeat that one for, in order to get to Oakland Next, if you are a young person between 16 and 24.
Yes.
You should go to
oakgov.com/young professionals, spelled the textbook way.
And what if I'm a person that age, what would I find there?
You will find information about paid internships and work experience opportunities. So these run through December, and I would assume that they'll fill quickly, especially if they're career oriented. So certainly go to oakgov.com/young professionals, and you can get more information about the Oakland Next Summer Young Professionals program to build future.
So you can still apply for one of these internships.
Oh yes, this is hot off the press. This is all for the month of June.
That's terrific.
I think so too. And then we do have our legal resources center back open again. It is still virtual, but you can get remote legal aid if that's something of interest. And I just want to share again the website, because sometimes information is really key. And that website is again oakgov.com. But this / is LRC, like legal remote clinic. So if you have any trouble with that one, please be sure to let me know. As I bring my report to a close, Honor Health Clinics is open in Pontiac and Southfield. That might be important to you because these clinics offer affordable health care for residents, regardless of insurance status or the ability to pay. Honor Community Health provides a broad range of primary, behavioral health, and dental care. So you want to definitely check those folks out. And the website for them is honorcommunityhealth.org.
Can you spell that one out?
Sure. So we have Honor, HONOR, Community, COMMUNITY, Health, HEALTH.org. And you can get lots of information there about the clinics close to where you reside. And
now, this is not the Oakland County Health Department directly?
Correct. This is one of our partners. So this is, authorized by Oakland County Health and doing some partnering with Honor Health.
And what do they provide that Oakland that you wouldn't get at the health department?
Well, one thing in particular may be location. Also, these services are meant to serve as a complement to the services already provided. So this might be like I said, primary care, chronic disease management. Sometimes if you go to the county health building, they're not as specialized. So this will provide some more specialization. And then in closing, the Board of Commissioners website, our e-newsletter, and our Facebook page are really awesome locations to get most of the information. You might remember me saying oakgov.com. So that's definitely a resource for sure. And then my my only call to action is those of you listening who might have some stake holding on Greenfield near 9 Mile. I'm doing a cleanup. I know Council Member Sean and Mayor Marion are aware, but I wanted to make sure I articulated this, particularly in the Manor community, and the clerk might have to help me on the precincts. But needless to say, south of 9 Mile, right next to Greenfield, we want to do a little cleanup from Miller Street all the way up to 9 Mile. So my phone number is 248-385-2927. This is sponsored by, I'll repeat that, but this is sponsored by the Oakland County Road Commission's Adopt a Road. And if you can believe it, I couldn't find a road to adopt anywhere in our area besides Greenfield. And there's still portions of Greenfield that are available north of 9 Mile, south of Miller. So certainly if you are interested, I would definitely go on the website to consider adopting a road. And that's what I did. And so I'm just asking for some volunteers. If that sounds of interest to you, you can text me 248-385-2927, and I would be happy to have your help. So I think
what is the date of this cleanup again?
The cleanup is in July, but there's a mandatory training that's happening this Saturday and this Sunday to be mindful of our Orthodox community. So I want to make sure folks know that they have to do the training. The county requires it, but it will be this Saturday, this Sunday, 11 a.m. and noon on Sunday, virtual.
Yeah. And how do you get to the training? Or we call you and you will set us up?
Yes, you call me, you text me, and I'll send the registration link and you'll be ready to go.
Very good. Lovely. Thank you for picking an area right in our town.
I know. So thank you. And I look forward to, I'll be listening in. I also will be attending Lathrop's meeting tonight. So forgive me if I'm not totally tuned in, but I'm definitely listening. So thank you for your hard work, all of you electeds, all of you folks who make cities work.
Thank you to our Oakland County Commissioner, Yolanda Smith-Charles. Moving on, we are down to item 9 on the agenda, special licenses. Request for a special event license and waiver fee submitted by Adriel Lechner, 12740 Sterling Court, for the Sterling Court Block Club Party to be held July 4th, 2021. We need a motion to approve this special event license.
So move.
Thank you, Councilmember Whitehead.
Second. Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Radner. All those in favor, please say aye.
Second.
Aye. Oh, we got a second and aye. Generally, if it is a city commission or a block club, we always waive the fees. If it is a commercial, enterprise, then they pay the fee. So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item 10, approval of payment of invoices submitted by Garen Loco Miller, PC, for legal services in the total amount of $12,353.34. Councilmember Radner, do we have a motion?
I thought Sean was going to make it, but I'll make the motion.
And second, thank you. Any discussion? I always count on Councilmember Radner to say, always pay your lawyers, but all those in, a roll call vote, please.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Motion carried. We are on 12A, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Chapter 82, Utilities of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan by amending Section 82-311 thereof. First, we need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Thank
Second.
you. Councilmember Whitehead and second by Councilmember Radner. I wonder, City Manager Tungate, would you like to have Director Maroney give just a review of what this is that we're getting a second reading of?
Madam Mayor, I would actually ask our Director of Finance, Sandra Crawford.
Thank you.
Over this one.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. This is the second reading of amending the utility ordinance of Chapter 82, Section 82-312 to reflect the changes for monthly billing, the various utility rates, and their effective dates as presented in the proposed fiscal year budget of 21-22 that was approved on May 12th, 2021. In summary, the few points that I want to make that the ordinance is changing is it's changing the quarterly rates to reflect monthly rates. It's also adjusting the penalty from 10% to 5%. It's also adjusting the industrial waste to reflect the Great Lakes Water Authority change. It's adjusting the effective dates of the various utility rates. And it's also adjusting the high strength surcharges to reflect the changes from the Great Lakes Water Authority and the Oakland County Drain Commissioner. And then we're also updating language to reflect the rebranding of the division to utility billing. We are recommending that the City Council adopt the amended ordinance, and a draft of the ordinance is attached.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Director Crawford, do you recall the other things that are on the bill, not just water, why we were changing it to calling it utility?
Yes, because the water bill not only has the water charge on there, it also has the sanitary sewer. It also has the storm runoff charges. It also has the garbage and rubbish collection on there as well. It has the meter charges as well. So it has more than just water and sewer on the bills.
Right. And some cities put garbage somewhere else. And so this is a more comprehensive bill. Do we have a motion and a second on this? Yes. Okay. Are there questions from our council members? Seeing none, Clerk Norris, would you do a roll call, please?
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't see anything under city attorney. That puts us at item 14, the city manager portion. City Manager Eric Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. I have the honor and privilege for 14A here to introduce our new communications director, and she is with us here this evening. Her name is Courtney Flynn, and I've included her bio in the packet, council members, but I did want to say that she comes to us from the Macomb County Board of Commissioners, where she served as their public relations manager, so she's not unused to some of the public dealings that we deal with here. I would also like to take this opportunity before I turn it over to Courtney to introduce herself, to thank our outgoing communications director, Jocelyn Davis. I think Jocelyn's on the call, but I want to thank her for her service to our city. And this is her second go around during a crisis. So thank you, Jocelyn, for getting us through the pandemic. Courtney Flynn has a master's degree in public administration from a great school down the street, Wayne State University, and she has her Bachelor of Science degree in print journalism from Bowling Green in Ohio. In addition to her extensive communications experience, Courtney also works with the Wayne State University Center for Urban Studies, analyzing socioeconomic data and policies. And Courtney has now been with us, gosh, is this 2 weeks? And already is fitting in wonderfully. So Courtney, with that, if you could say a few words about yourself, and we're happy to have you.
Thank you, City Manager Tungate, and good evening, Council and Mayor. I have, yes, been here for about 2 weeks now, and I'm very excited to just continue to get to know the community and to get to know you all as well, and work on really just communicating all the great things that the city is doing and having our citizens become more engaged with us as a city.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, well, council members, I'm going to use this opportunity to move to 14B, this strategic planning quarterly update. So I don't plan on going into too much detail, council members, but I wanted to start getting you used to seeing these strategic planning quarterly reports. As you know, our Director of Special Projects and Strategic Planning, Crystal Van Vleck, is out on maternity leave. Of course, she'll be returning to us fairly soon, and she'll be providing these reports when she returns. So this is the first of many to come quarterly reports, council members, that you'll be receiving that aligns with the city's second iteration of our strategic plan for the years 2021 through 2026. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to go through them. We start with goal 1, deepening sense of place and community identity. We lay out our objectives and we talk about some of the activities that we have been conducting to meet those objectives. Same goes for goal number 2, foster an engaged, informed community. We're going to cultivate a culture of civic involvement and have more increased positive media coverage. Goal 3, cultivate organizational excellence. On, and I'm not going to go through it, council members, but I'd be happy to ask questions if you have them.
As I recall, the first sort of 5-year strategic plan that we didn't do these quarterly updates, and it dawned on us after 5 years that when we looked it over, that we had accomplished everything on our list. 95% of it. It was shocking. So we go by these plans. They're not just sitting on the shelf. They are working documents. And I think it's wonderful that we're getting quarterly updates on how we're achieving these goals. And in a way, it's a great way to blow our own horn because it's incredible what's going on.
Madam Mayor, if I could piggyback on your comments a little bit, I think it's also important to note and also give credit to Crystal Van Vleck for her hard work, and Jocelyn Davis also for setting this up, which is now 6 years ago. But, if you think about all of the various things that we're doing, and we're going to be hearing from Director Sandra Crawford here about our quarterly budget amendments, our quarterly financial report, all of these various things fold in very nicely into the quarterly reporting structure that we now have. And to your comments, I mean, 8-9 years ago, we were not doing these kinds of reports. And the idea is that as we get into the new fiscal year, July 1st, that these reports will align with our investment of resources, our investment of staff, et cetera. And our communication strategy, of course, will shadow those on a needs-based basis. So I don't need a vote, but I do, council members want you to get used to seeing this. So unless you have other questions, I'm going to go ahead and move on to 14C. And we have an emergency purchase that we want to speak about. Deputy Director David DeCoster is here to speak about this emergency purchase.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Tungate. Good evening again, Mayor and City Council. Before you tonight, the Public Works Department is requesting authorization to waive the bidding process for the emergency purchase of a 2021 Chevrolet Police Tahoe. As you know, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused major issues with the supply chain, especially in the form of computer chip shortages. This shortage has affected the City of Oak Park in the delayed delivery of all of our new vehicles, including the 2 police vehicles we currently have on order with Chevrolet. The Public Safety Department has been diligent in looking for additional vehicles that are available, and this vehicle is available immediately upon City Council approval if they so choose. It is recommended the City Council approve the emergency purchase of a 2021 Chevrolet Police Tahoe totaling $39,205.92 Funding for the advanced purchase of this vehicle is available in the fiscal year 2021-2022 motor pool fund. And I'm available for any questions if you have them.
Madam Mayor, can I just add to that? Council members, I just also wanted to say, just as a personal insight on this, this is an opportunity, in my opinion, that we cannot let go. As Deputy Director DeCoster just mentioned, the situation is pretty dire. So that's why we place this on the agenda for your consideration.
First, we need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Thank
Second.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Radner and then Whitehead. If it isn't going out for bid, where is this vehicle coming from?
So the vehicle is actually coming from a competitor of our normal dealership that we deal with. The vehicle is still fleet pricing. We're still getting a discount. We've looked at this front and back. The pricing is very competitive with the state bid projects. However, we certainly can't purchase this without your emergency approval. So we have vetted it. We do feel it is a good purchase and move forward.
All right. Are there questions from city council members?
Madam Mayor, I do have a question.
Please, Councilmember Whitehead.
So if we purchase this one, then would there be one less to purchase in the next fiscal year, in the next financial year? Is that how?
Correct. We have one budgeted marked vehicle in the next fiscal year budget, and this will satisfy that budget allocation. As I mentioned, we do have two currently on order for the existing fiscal year we're in that we're waiting on delivery of.
And it's COVID supply chain delays with computer related amenities for the cars, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Actually, this one fell into our hands. Another jurisdiction canceled their order about a month ago, and we were able to get our hands on it because it pretty much met all of our specifications.
Any further questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes,
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, Madam Mayor, Council, I am very excited and happy to be able to bring 14D1 and D2 to you. And I'm going to turn it over to Director Megan Burke here in just a moment. These are two of the four collective bargaining agreements that Megan and our staff have been working so hard to get accomplished. So, Director Burke, could you please take D1 for me, please?
Yes, thank you so much, City Manager Tungate. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council Members Whitehead and Radner. It is nice to see you all. First, like the City Manager said, I would also like to echo how excited I am about this. This has been a project that I've been kind of mentally preparing for since I started back in August of 2020, when I was able to kind of take a deep dive into the contracts. I want to thank the City Manager, Assistant City Manager, the whole bargaining team, the whole finance team, the city attorney, Ebony, our labor attorney. Everybody has just been really wonderful to work with, my fellow department heads who gave input on them. So I would say with all four of the agreements, especially these two under A and B, it was very antiquated language in the contract. For example, some of the language cleanup was as small as, words spelled wrong, commas missing, just some incorrect grammar and things like that, to larger things such as pronouns. None of the contracts had female pronouns in them, so we've been able to take care of that to be inclusive of the whole workforce, as well as getting rid of some of the language I recognize now. I was going to say some legal language, but I'm looking at 3 attorneys right now. I think you're all wonderful, but I did work to kind of make the language a little bit more, I would say, like layperson language, a little bit easier to read. As well as just various administrative cleanup. I know I've met with a lot of department heads, even on this call, to discuss, there's a lot of things that we did in practice that were never memorialized into the contracts. I think that was very important for us to do, to incorporate that language and those processes that we've been doing into the language in all 4 groups. So getting down to the POAM patrol group specifically, we did have 4 formal negotiating sessions and then multiple language conversations and clarification conversations offline. For the economic piece, one of the largest things for the POAM patrol, and I apologize, what you're looking at in the packet and the addendum to the packet is the actual tentative agreement itself. So it's every single page of the contract, and the city manager can attest, I like every single page of the tentative agreement initialed as well. So he had to probably do 150 sets of initials throughout this whole process. But it's to make sure that we don't make any mistakes. It's to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So for the one of the largest pieces, the economic pieces, the patrol unit received a 2.5% increase in the first year of the 3-year agreement, a 2.5% increase in the second year of the agreement, and then a 2% increase in the final year of the agreement, with a one-time $2,500 hazard payment that will be paid by June 30th. And city manager, you can probably clarify a little bit more about that money being reimbursable through COVID dollars. I think you're all, you know more about that than I do, but that money will be reimbursable when we do receive the funds from the federal government. Again, the agreement is a 3-year agreement. That is the deal that we went for with all 4 of the units. So from July 1st of 2021 through June 30th of 2024. We were able to negotiate to continue our current health care. However, we were really able to work with the unions and very appreciative of being able to work on that, but to keep our current health care. However, at the time that the state releases the hard cap amounts, which is typically in September and October, if at any point during the duration of this agreement, those are hard cap amounts, when our benefits broker takes a look at that, if we exceed those hard cap amounts, the patrol unit has agreed to switch over to Simply Blue from our Community Blue for Blue Cross Blue Shield program. So it would still be Blue Cross, it would just be a different plan. So we were able to accomplish that. And then city manager, do you just want me to go into the second one into dispatch, or did you want to pause on that?
Well, we need to pause because they have to look at each one individually.
Right. Okay.
Council members, if I could, and Megan, if you could correct me on this if I'm speaking correctly, but I wanted to speak solely about the wage increase portion of this, council members. The 2.5, it's 2.5, 2.5, 2.
Yep.
And I think it's important to note how that compares with some of our peer communities across the board. And actually, it puts us right in line, in my view, right in line with some of those peer communities across the board. And not only that, but the contracts, both of these contracts, and hopefully the other 2 will be coming to you on July 6th at our meeting in person. But these contracts tonight represent folks who have put their lives on the line throughout the pandemic, of course, especially the patrol officers who have had to be, they've never had the option of working from home or doing that. So I'm very happy and supportive of these agreements, and especially that we were able to secure 3-year deals, which puts us on solid footing for the next 3 years. So with that, we would just ask that you approve or look at each of these individually, council members. So Mayor, the first one would be D1, the POAM contract.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the Police Officers Association of Michigan contract.
So moved.
Thank you, Solomon Radner.
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Whitehead. Discussion or questions? The hazard pay was from the federal government, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if there's opportunities to have that reimbursed going forward, Megan mentioned, we're going to pursue those opportunities at every turn.
Right. And so back when there was no vaccine, these were the people who were out there face to face with our residents and others. And that certainly was a hazard. at that time. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, Megan, and then the next one, please.
Absolutely. So again, a lot of the language changes, a lot of the antiquated changing of the language, a lot of administrative cleanup. We also had 4 bargaining sessions with the POAM dispatch group, and again, multiple separate language conversations for clarifying purposes. Now you'll notice on this that was sent separately for the dispatch TA, as opposed to receiving percentage increases over the 3-year agreement, they also did agree to a 3-year agreement starting on July 1st. However, their wages were a bit different, and you'll notice on the top page, as opposed to the percentage increases, they received a $2 increase on each step of the agreement, with the starting wage to be stricken. And the 6-month agreement, we got rid of the 6-month wage increase. We now made that the starting increase. So they did have some wage right sizing to do. And again, like the city manager said, I'll let him speak to that more. But again, like he said, just trying to keep in with comparable communities and understanding that our dispatchers do a lot more than just a typical dispatch group. So we did want to try and make those wages more right sized. We also were able to get the same agreement to keep the healthcare current, but then again, in the event of the hard cap, we would switch to that plan as well.
Okay, so you would like a motion to approve the contract with the Dispatchers Association, POAM, correct?
Yes.
Do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Thank you. Councilmember Whitehead.
Second.
Thank you. Councilmember Radner, you guys are busy tonight. An aside, totally not contract related, just I've heard such nice things about how the dispatchers are dealing with the public at a time that they're in crisis in a very kind way. Are there any questions about the what's being offered or the contract? Hearing none, we will go directly to a vote. Doris, our city clerk.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes, motion carried then. Thank you.
Thank
And
you so
due
much.
to the hard work of everyone involved in negotiating these contracts, it is not an easy job, and we appreciate all who participated. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, especially Director Megan Burke, great job. And we thank our union representation and all of the staff members who have been involved in this. It's absolutely true. It's a hard process, and we're halfway through that process now. So I'm very excited. I am going to move on now to 14E, Director Sandra Crawford.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council again. Before you is the third quarter budget to actual report for the current fiscal year that we're in, and it's through the reporting of March 31st. The third quarter, generally, revenues and expenditures should represent about 75% of the annual budget. The revenues total for the third quarter are approximately $18.7 million, representing about 85% of the annual budget. The overall revenues are on track with the budget. Following items of note. Property tax revenue as of the end of the third quarter was approximately 96% of the tax bill have been paid, which is great considering we were in a pandemic. Any unpaid real property taxes will be purchased from the city by Oakland County in May of 2021. And the property tax revenue is the primary reason that the overall revenues are at about 85% to date. The intergovernmental revenues, which is the state revenue sharing, the city receives its 6 bi-monthly payments annually for the state shared revenue, and the third quarter report reflects the 3 fiscal year 2021 payments totaling $1.9 million, as the August 31st, 2020 payment is by statute is included in part of the June 30th, 2021 revenues.
Can I just ask how
Sure.
that state shared revenue, is it staying the same as last year? Is it slightly more? Is it-
Actually, let's see. Let me get, let's see.
For the longest time while she's looking, the state of Michigan, cities were the worst funded of the 50 states.
Madam Mayor, can I speak to that generally? You know, that we are a city, specifically as it relates to revenue sharing. Since 2002, we are a city who has had about $20 million of state revenue sharing taken away that we otherwise would have received. And in cities like Detroit, that number is about 800 million. So it's had a huge impact over the long run. In recent years, we've actually seen somewhat of an uptick in state shared revenue.
So in other words, they took away an arm and gave back a pinky finger.
Exactly.
Just keeping it in perspective.
Right, exactly right. Are there other questions while Sandra's
Yeah,
searching?
still looking through this.
Council members?
I think that 6 years ago, they used to post the bar graph for how much each state is giving its cities, and 49 of them were up in the black, and only one was down in the red, which was Michigan. Now, they might have since that time ticked it up a little bit, but they didn't make up for what was taken. And given that financial reality, it's amazing what we've been able to accomplish. Amazing.
Yeah. You know, especially if you look at some of the years that we struggled the most, 2012, 2013, 2014. You know, if you look at the state shared revenue that was taken away previously in those years, especially, it just about matches the budget shortfalls that we had to contend with. So there is a direct relationship to, you know, taking away funding to our cities and townships and these deficits, especially in our community and in Detroit and other places too.
We can wait for that information.
I was gonna say, I can follow back up with you.
Absolutely.
Actually,
Absolutely.
the entire council.
I didn't mean to
get that third quarter for you, because I want to give you the direct comparison from the third quarter to third quarter.
Right.
So that you can see that.
When you get it, send it. It doesn't take this minute.
Okay. All righty, getting back to where I was. So with respect to, I think I left off on, okay, that the payments were totaling 1.9 million, and the August 31st, 2020 payment is included in part of this fiscal year, June 30th, 2021's revenue. So the remaining payments on April 30th, June 30th, and then August of 31, 2021 will be part of this fiscal year. So the estimated annual revenue included in the budget is $3.6 million. The fines and forfeiture revenue received from the 45th District Court was originally budgeted for 1.7 million, but has been amended down due to the COVID-19 to about 1.3 million, of which $962,839, or about 74%, was received through the third quarter. So overall, the court revenue continues to be less than the prior year and less than budgeted due to COVID-19 and the reduced number of the drivers on the road and tickets that were written. The court has done a good job in reducing their costs to offset some of the loss of revenue. The revenue received is used to offset portions of the city court's operating costs. Our federal grants revenue is higher than originally anticipated as the city is receiving federal CARES funds passed through the state of Michigan and Oakland County related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The revenue received totaled approximately $2 million and was used to offset both unbudgeted expenditures incurred since July of 2020, along with reimbursement of some of the allowable budgeted costs, which will be used to offset some of the revenues lost. The recreation program fees have been amended down to about approximately 50%, as almost no programs were being offered in the first 2 quarters of the fiscal year due to the COVID-19 pandemic and related shutdown. Some of the revenue loss has been offset by the cost savings within the recreation department. Our expenditures, the total expenditures for the 3rd quarter totaled approximately $15.1 million, representing about 68% of the budget. Our overall department expenditure budgets are on track with the following items of note, and these are departments that were materially over 75%. Because again, we said that at about the 3rd quarter, you should be about 75% for the revenues and expenditures. The prosecuting attorney is at 83% of their budget due to the legal services invoice for the April 2021 was paid in March. Elections is at 81% of their budget due to the timing of when the elections take place. The presidential primary was during the 1st quarter and the general election is in the 2nd quarter, resulting in the majority of the budget expended during the first 6 months of the year. But the overall net budget for the department is in line with the current annual projections. The recreation departments are below their budgets due to the seasonality nature of the recreation programs, and the overall net budget for the department is in line with the current annual projections. The Finance and Administrative Service Department is about 81% due to the timing of several payments, including the assessing contract for April 2021, which was paid in March of 2021, and the contribution for the defined benefit pension for April was also recorded in March. The overall net budget for the department is in line with the current annual projections. So overall, the general fund operations are in line with the annual budgets. However, Finance will continue to monitor the revenues and expenses and bring forth the budget amendments that are necessary. The projected fund balance remains at the targeted level of 20% of annual expenditures. And then just some other funds for overview. The library fund continues to show favorable results due to COVID-19. The library continued to collect the majority of their annual revenue, which was about 97% of the original budget, while not incurring costs due to the shutdown. Expenditures were only about 64% of their budget. Major and local streets, the gas tax collections that were significantly down due to COVID-19 have rebounded recently, and a portion of the marijuana fees at the state level have been used to maintain the funding for the streets at the prior year level. The overall net budget for these funds is in line with the current annual projections. District Court is discussed above in the from the general fund. Overall collections of fines and fees continues to be down and not back to pre-COVID levels due to less tickets being written by all communities. The net result in the current year will be an increase in the contribution from the general fund by about approximately $400,000. The budget amendment that was done in December of 2020. The reduced fees will also impact the revenues received in the court building fund. Water and sewer. COVID-19 has not had a significant impact on this fund, as revenue loss due to the businesses being closed was approximately offset by increase in usage at the residential level. The overall net budget for the funds is in line with the current annual projections. And that is the report for the 3rd quarter as of March 31st.
Madam Mayor, if I could piggyback on this, I want to just make a editorial comment here a little bit. I've been asked recently how we are using our pandemic relief funds. And one of the ways that I would respond to that is we're filling in some of the holes that have been created in our budget by the pandemic. For us, there isn't going to be funds left over like in some other communities around us. And Director Crawford, I think we're just asking them to receive this, correct?
Yes, just to receive this report. It's the
Except
next
in
one.
file, you don't need a motion, correct?
No, it'll be the next one.
Okay.
Are there any questions, council members? Okay, Director Crawford, 14F, please.
Yes. Okay, 14F, I'm seeking approval of the resolution to authorize the budget amendment 2021-4. The city's annual budget was adopted on May 18th, 2020, and is effective July 1st. The budget is adopted at the department level. In accordance with the State Budget Act, amendments are to be completed throughout the fiscal year in order to reflect the most current information available related to revenue and expenditure budgets. The budget amendments that have a positive or negative impact on fund balance or change the departmental total require council's approval. The proposed amendments are based on actual and projected activity to date. The fourth quarter, June 30th, 2021 budget amendment is attached and is also summarized below. We anticipate the beginning fund balance at July 1st, 2020 was $4,345,540. The amended budget as of December 31st, 2020 added a $1.3,875 to it. The change in fund balance as a result, based on these attached amendments, are about $1 million. So we estimate going in or ending this fiscal year at $4.6 million, well, $4,646,415. And the following are some of the additional details to relate the significant items included in the recommended amendments. Increase in various expenditure budgets for 2021, primarily in the fringe benefit area, including defined pension benefits and healthcare to adjust actual and projected year-end balances. We're also asking increase in building and permit and housing inspection revenue based on significant increases in the current activity. Increase in property tax revenue to adjust to the final settlement that we received from Oakland County. And our overall chargebacks are running less than anticipated in prior years due to no foreclosures due to COVID-19. Increase public safety expenditure budget to begin setting aside funds for the purchase of the new ladder fire truck. We're also asking to create a budget for the renovations of the park bathrooms during the summer of 2021 and increase the budget for water and sewer fees due on city facilities from the storm runoff charges. Overall, this amendment decreases the projected fund balance to the exact amount projected in the fiscal year budget 2021-22 that we recently passed in May. The final proposed amendments increase the overall projected fund balance by $300,875, which is a great accomplishment coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. Authorities and special revenue funds. The Brownfield and EDC amendments increase revenues for grants and increase grant-related expenditures. The street funds Act 51 revenue was increased to match the current state estimates and recognize additional expenditures related to DPW wage allocations for the routine maintenance. The criminal justice training and CDBG funds had minor increases in both the grant revenues equal to grant-related expenditures. Our debt service fund. The 2010 Municipal Complex Debt Service and the 2020 UTGO refunding bonds debt service funds were amended to reflect the property tax levy in the proper funds and the actual debt payments per the refinancing agreement in the prior year. The capital project funds, the public improvement fund was amended to reflect the transfer from the general fund to cover the cost of the park's restrooms renovation projects and to reflect the actual grant proceeds received to date. Overall, the proposed amendment for the authorities, the special revenue fund, the debt service and capital project funds adjust the projected fund balance to the exact amount projected in the fiscal year 21-22 budget we passed in May. The proposed budget amendment has an impact on the fund balance on the fund balance of the general fund while keeping the estimated fund balance at approximately 21% of the annual expenditures. The amendments to all other funds keep the fund balance at the targeted ranges and are done in compliance with the state of Michigan requirements and guidelines. The recommended action is the approval of the resolution to authorize budget amendment 21-4 as presented. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's on mute.
You're on mute, Mayor.
You're on mute.
I think it's automatically flipping onto mute.
Oh.
Won't that be fun in person? We don't have to do that.
Yes.
Motion approving the requested budget amendment 2021-4, the period ending June 30th, 2021. We need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Councilmember Whitehead, second. Councilmember Radner. Probably not in the budget, but do we expect after an increase in foreclosures following this period?
I would say yes, Madam Mayor, but I think the impact, it's like it's not like the 2008 crash in a lot of ways, but it's like that situation in one way, which we're going to see the effects of some of the foreclosures that are to come, 3-4 years down the road. 2008 really hit us in 2012, 2013, 2014. So you can expect to see those hit us, 3-4 years down the road. And hopefully we don't see as many foreclosures as we think we might. I mean, hopefully people are able to work those issues out before then.
Thank you. Are there questions about this resolution? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
and Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, council members. Thank you, Director Crawford. I am going to turn it over for 14G. For our very first time, Director Courtney Flynn is going to do our event and activity update.
Thank you again. Good evening to everyone again. So for our community announcements for the next few weeks out and from last week. So the City Municipal Complex opened on June 14th, so last Monday, and our hours are back to normal. And we have been helping the public again very happily. And with that, we also opened the pool to the public last Saturday. Those hours are on the website and there is no need to call and make registration. Our library is also open again to the public and those hours are available on their website as well. In terms of seasonal employment, we still have positions available and those can be found on our website under the Human Resources tab or by calling 248-691-7403. Some positions include camp directors and counselors, field supervisors, public service worker, and those all start out at a minimum of $15 per hour. The farmers market will open to the public on July 7th, every Wednesday, and it'll be open from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Oak Park High School / Coolidge parking lot. The market accepts EBT cards and participates in the Double Up Food Bucks program. Also at the market this year, we will have the Power of Produce Club for both kids and adults. That will go from July 14th to August 18th. This is a free 6-week program designed for children ages 3 to 12 for the children's program, or for adults 55 years of age and older for the adult program. The capacity is between 75 and 80 participants per week, and the participants can each earn $3 a week of the program to spend at the market. Also at the market will be free yoga classes. The adult classes are from 11 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. And the children's classes, which are for ages 6 to 12, are between noon and 12:30. Free mats are provided to the first 25 participants, and those interested can call 248-691-7555 to sign up. For the library, we have summer reading sign up going on between June 21st and the 25th for ages 12 and under. They can sign up in person or online. Kids who register will receive a free book bag, which includes a book, a reading log and a tracker, some prizes, and an event schedule. Kids will be reading about 600 minutes per summer and will receive a certificate and a free book prize. The library is also offering the Lego Animals virtual contest, which runs between June 28th and July 2nd, and it's for ages 12 and older. And those who participate are encouraged to submit a picture of their Lego animal to be displayed on the website. The winners will be chosen by drawing from those who have entered the program. And then this week, the library is offering a Zoom talk sponsored by the Detroit Institute of Arts, and it is called In Our Own Voice, African American Art. This is free, and those interested can email the library, call the library, or excuse me, register on the website, and then the link will be emailed to them. It's open to everyone, and it is intended to enhance the awareness of the creative contributions of African Americans from the 19th century through the present day. This talk provides a lens to examine issues of race, gender, politics, and culture. Then through our senior services programs, we have Senior Drive-In Bingo, a senior picnic lunch, which is June 25th between noon and 1:30 at Shelter 1 at David Shepherd Park. Those can register with payment by June 22nd at 4 p.m. And to do that, you can call 248-691-7555 to register. We are also promoting the Mayor's 4th of July virtual 5K run. And those interested can register by June 23rd by also calling the Recreation Department. The fee is $15 and you must pre-register. And those who choose to participate can run their virtual 5K between June 28th and the 4th of July. And all those who participate are encouraged to dress up in 4th of July apparel and take selfies while you're running or after. There's also 4th of July fun packs, which are $5, and families can purchase those through the Recreation Department by calling 248-691-7555. Those activity packs include backyard games, recipes, coupons, and more. And this is intended to help our residents continue to celebrate the 4th of July despite the traditional city activities being canceled due to the pandemic. Other announcements include swim lessons are available with the opening of the pool, as are water aerobics. The Teen Council will be meeting on June 30th. The Recreation Department is also offering Go Thai Karate for beginners and advanced levels. Tot Latin Summer Day Camp, and then the Latchkey Program. And then finally, the Oak Park Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission continues to have an open survey so they can gain an understanding and an awareness of the city's art and cultural community. That survey can be found on our website. The link is right on our homepage. And then vaccines are still available for walk-ins on Wednesdays at the city's community center. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Courtney. Madam Mayor, members of council, with the exception of one other thing I wanted to mention, which is that this will be our last Zoom council meeting that we know of, at least. So effective July 6th, we are going to go back to in-person meetings. We are going to make a determination working with our legal staff in the meantime in determining whether or not the public has the ability to participate via Zoom while we are in person. But as far as the staff and our elected officials go, we will be in person on the July 6th meeting. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in person again. And that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, City Manager Chungate, for the good news. We are now at the call to the audience section. You need to wait to be called on, and our Lisa Vecchio will call on you, at which point you can unmute and start your video. Director Vecchio, do we have someone who would like to speak?
Yes, I have Kenneth Sherman. Like to speak to you.
Good evening, City Council, and welcome, Courtney. I live on Jerome off of Oak Park Boulevard, and I had a question for Deputy Director DeCoster and Deputy Director Pinkerton regarding the construction work that started today on Oak Park Boulevard between Coolidge and Scotia with the water main repair. Can you talk about that project? It's going now into September. And I wondered, is this proactive work, repair work? And is Oak Park Boulevard going to be closed down periodically? And if your answer is yes, how will that impact public safety department's access to Oak Park Boulevard? Thank you.
Thank you. Can we ask Deputy Director DeCoster just to
Sure.
summarize what's happening on Oak Park Boulevard?
Sure, thank you. Mr. Sherman is correct. We are doing some water main work along Oak Park Boulevard between Scotia and Coolidge. The contractor is actually working from Scotia, working west towards Coolidge. And as he stated, we will be signing areas for no parking. And that's obviously for the safety of our crews as well as our residents' vehicles. So it's just a space issue. Oak Park Boulevard, as you know, is a boulevard with 18-foot lanes or so, as opposed to the much wider residential street. So just in terms of safety, we are going to place no parking signs. There may be times where we need to shut down an intersection or two. And in all those instances, we work with public safety, make sure they're notified, and they will reroute their crews as they see fit.
I noticed today when I drove down Oak Park Boulevard that there were signs up, and by the church area that there were cars parked, you know, where the signs were, at least 3 of them. So that's an FYI to public safety, that they need to be aware that, you know, people are parking there still, even though the signs are there. Thank you.
Thank you. It's,
Next, I have Joseph Stewart. Go ahead and speak.
there is a 3-minute time limit. Mr. Stewart?
Let's see. There we go. Hello. Okay. I guess I can't. I'll put my video on. But
you can put your video and audio.
I've been trying to put the video on.
Okay, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I'm back. I'm back again here. Oh, here we go. And I'm sorry. I'm here to address the financial situation of my client. I wish I was here to talk about some nice program that's good for the city. If you remember, I represent Coolidge Square condominiums, and this is about that water bill and the what we call it, well, all the extremely high penalties that are probably over $100,000. And I'm not here to and what I'm asking for tonight is if I can please be allowed to be put on the agenda for the July 6th meeting. I did speak with Ebony Duff and Courtney Krause about this in advance of this meeting, and I'm sorry I'm contributing to your legal bills also. But I think that given that my client has been penalized, you know, in excess of the of his cost of the actual water bill, some $100,000, to just and I mean this respectfully, to just give me 3 minutes to to address you, I think it's not nice, and it's not. I don't think it's right, and I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about my client and what's going on over there, which I would like to address. Just a couple of them real quickly, since I don't know if you're going to grant me or not. That he's an absentee landlord, and that landlords who bought properties in the recession take advantage of people. My client bought this property in 2017. He's not, and now he lives in LA, but he's coming in it comes in about 7 days every month. And there was a concern about the water bill, the water bill's not being paid, and it was wrong that he stopped paying. But I, Courtney Krause agreed with me about I agreed with her when she pointed out that because he did have a payment agreement and he paid way more than he was supposed to, but the bill step kept going up, and he misunderstood that. He didn't understand that he had to be paying on the bill besides the agreement. But he charges every tenant there. There's 44 units, $880 and they don't pay water. I'm not, it's ironic that, he's here for the water, but he's not skimming any money off of anybody.
I'm so sorry, but we have a 3-minute time limit.
Okay.
And that's been 3 minutes.
Okay, so I'm just, that's what I'm asking, is if I can be please placed, if we can be placed on the agenda for the July 6th meeting.
I will check with our attorneys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, if anyone else would like to speak tonight, please put your name in the chat or raise your hand on the participants list. I will give it another couple seconds here. All right, not seeing any further hands. That completes the public comment.
Thank you so much. For a call to the council, I wanted Development Director Kim Maroney just to update us on what's new in the Planning Commission and the Corridor Improvement Authority.
Hi, Mayor and City Council members. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to give an update on the Corridor Improvement Authority. We have been working hard on creating districts and naming them over the last few months, as well as implementing our plan that we've come together with. And one of those items that we wanted to achieve was naming our districts. In the near future, you will actually see our communications department put out communications and asking input from our residents on what to name each district. So please look for that in our social media and give us some suggestions. We want you all to be part of that. We are also making some videos to help promote some of our local businesses in 3 different industries: the service, retail, and restaurant. Those should be out within a month. In regards to our Planning Commission, the latest thing is, of course, as well as rezoning a few properties to mixed use 2 and industrial flex. And coming up as a special meeting on June 29th, we do have an apartment project coming, which will be located on 9 Mile Road, right next to the Little Caesars. And that will come on June 29th and then come to the City Council on the July 6th, I think is the date of that meeting, on that Tuesday. And that is our latest updates.
Wonderful, wonderful. I just have to say that I had something to bring to the tailor down on 9 Mile Road, and driving back and looking at what we have done on 9 Mile Road, I just felt proud to be an Oak Park resident. The fencing, the gardens, the fun little bike thing that we have there, the mini parks, the trailhead, the landscaping that we've put in, it just made me delighted. And thanks to all who made that. Councilmember Radner. Oh, one more thing. The mayor's earrings are brought to you by Michelle Reynolds, who makes handcrafted jewelry. She is an Oak Park resident on Beverly Street. So a little plug for a local business. Councilmember Radner.
I think we do need to talk about, and I know that it was on the agenda last week to talk about it, and I couldn't make it because I was out of town and my phone wasn't working. But I think we do need to talk about the water rates. I know that I think I'm one of the people that voted for these penalties, and I didn't catch it, but I think it's outrageous. 10% compounded monthly is more than any credit card company could get away with charging. It's more than any bank could get away with charging. And I think it's ridiculous if that's what we charge. I don't care if every other city in the world does it. It's not right. And I think Joseph Stewart is right about this.
Perhaps a special meeting. Devoted.
Maybe a special meeting, maybe something on the agenda. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is not something I plan on being quiet about. I think it's wrong, and I think we need to change it. With that, have a good night, everybody, and thank you all for doing such a great job with Oak Park.
And then Councilmember Whitehead, a producer and director of the fabulous Juneteenth video.
Thanks, Mayor. Appreciate it a
With our
lot.
thanks and bravos.
Thank you. Just want to say happy Juneteenth to everyone. Hopefully you get to check out the presentation. We've got a couple hundred views on it already. So I've gotten feedback from people as high up from caucus leaders telling me that it needs to be get national coverage. Is that good? And that's all thanks to Director Van Fleck and the committee and Mr. Benny White. I know he was editing overtime, overdrive, and I really appreciate Mr. Benny White and all he did to get the production together. And then the other thing that I want to say was Happy Father's Day. And then lastly, want to thank Director Davis for everything that she's done for the city, and welcome Director Flynn, and everybody have a good night. And I can't wait to be in person because, yeah, there's Zoom burnout for sure. So I can't wait.
Thank you. There being no further business to come before the council, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Have a good night.